Hey, Michelle here from Sensate Soul and the Soul Translator. And this is part 2 on a little talk video that I just shared about labels and this stuff that's going on where people are, the trending thing is to be all inclusive with everybody. And I wanted to say, I was thinking about this a little bit more, and I wanted to add a little part 2 here, a short one. And I want to say, when we have a label on something, think about like with food. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't watched that video yet, go and watch that one first about labels and empaths and HSPs, the part 1. You'll see it on my YouTube channel. And then watch this one, or do whatever you want, but I'm just letting you know that there is a part 1. But I was thinking about this with labels and food and the power of being able to know what is in our food. And that I know that there's a stretch here, but just hear me out on this, because I feel like when we buy something and that we're wanting to make healthy choices, the label is there so that we can know exactly what the ingredients are in something that we're purchasing. And we can tell then if there's things in there that we want in our bodies and that we don't want in our bodies. Now, there may be some things that are in that label that we may not want in our our bodies to be healthy, but we still have the experience of them because it's comfort food, or because we just simply want to indulge and we don't give a crap and we just want to have a pleasurable experience, and that's all fine and good. So there's always variations here. How I'm relating this to the idea of everyone is an empath, everyone is capable of empathy. And saying that, basically it's like we're all one, we're all this, we're all that, and it takes away from the unique individualities of people and of their labels and of their identities, is similar to saying, like we have, here's a glass of milk or glass of orange juice, but it is, it's got every single other fruit in it. It's not just orange juice. It's just a disservice. It's misinformation. And when we know what something is, when we know we are an empath or HSP, when we discover that, it means then that we have this foundation of ingredients, of what that means, and ways to be able to relate to ourselves and take care of ourselves and understand ourselves. And it really is a foundation. It's point zero. A label as an identity can be the foundation that then we build upon and get to know, okay, if I am an empath or I'm an HSP, what does that mean particularly for me? There are these ingredients and these traits of what that means in general. From research, from people's experiences, from studies on the brain and the nervous system, from social research. But what does that then mean for me? So a label does not ever need to limit us, but not having a label can also mean that we don't know exactly what we're dealing with. And it's, in my world, I like to have these foundational points, these basics that are common sense, that are predictable in a certain way, that I can identify myself as, and then I can create as I develop. I can become more of something or let go of something because it doesn't really fit in my identity. Like we think about with personality tests. Those are labels. Those are identifiers. Those are characteristic traits. Do they mean that we are only that? Maybe not. But can they mean that we are that and more? Absolutely. And to say, well, I'm not going to identify as an introvert because that limits me. That thinking, that idea that having a label is going to limit you, I find very limiting. And on the other side, saying that everybody is an empath, everybody is capable of empathy, and that we, that by saying that there are some people who can't have empathy, who aren't empaths, is dehumanizing them, because somehow we think it's, it's uppity or self-righteous to say I'm an empath and I have empathy and you don't. That's a really loose argument, and it doesn't make any sense to me. And there are people in this world that do not have empathy. There are people who are narcissistic and on the sociopathic spectrum, who have in their brains, they are incapable, if not absolutely unable, to process the energy and have even cultivate any sort of empathy. And there's a spectrum of that. So to say that everyone has empathy is a very lofty statement. People have the capacity to be able to be empathetic and to learn how to do that more. And yes, people can learn it, and it is a skill and it is a trait, and it also is a way of being. It is an identity, and for those who are true empaths, it is a way that we relate to ourselves and to the world that is unique to the empaths and to the HSPs. And we are learning to be able to be that and to regulate that when we have it in an extra heightened, extra sensory type of way. So our learning is to learn to know how to be that in a healthy, empowered way. And others who are not born as HSPs and with as empaths then can learn, if they are capable, if they are not in the narcissistic spectrum. And some people have difficulties developing empathy because of other psychological and even neurological and many and other mental neuroses and different things that get in the way of them to be able to cultivate and feel that. So no, not everybody can have empathy, and to say that everybody can is a really big injustice to those who are struggling to be able to know what it means for themselves and to have all of the challenges and the suffering that can come from being a highly sensitive person and being an empath and not knowing what that means or how to be able to be that in the world. So that is my part 2 on this topic. And having a label is simply like knowing what the ingredients are. And knowing what those ingredients are can be incredibly helpful and can be very foundational. Just summing things up here. And can be very self-soothing and can be very self-reliant when you are able to accept a label and accept a way that you are designed naturally, and to be able to move towards that as strengths and as something, yes, that then you need to take care of, because being a highly sensitive person does require more self-care and self-management, because you have a more intense nervous system. I'll just leave it at that. So, but the label doesn't need to limit us. Let's let the labels empower us. And saying that everybody is something is disempowering to those who truly are. There we have it. There, said it. All right, so I'd love to know what you think and feel about this topic, so please do leave a comment below, and I will respond when able, for sure. And also, come on over to sensatesoul.com. I have, there is over 70 suggestions there's a HSP self-care package that you can pick up over there and get things that I only share in private emails. And as well, give this video a like, share it with a friend if you feel they'd benefit, subscribe to my YouTube channel or wherever you're seeing it. And so much love. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.